Experience Milwaukee is presented by Few Spirits, Indeed Brewing, Cost Stereophones, Bittercube, and Transfer Pizzeria Cafe. Their generous support allows us to highlight all aspects of the city of Milwaukee for our listeners across the country and around the world, something we've been doing since 2018. Thanks for listening, and now, on to the show with opening music from Milwaukee's very own Black Belt Theater. Hey everyone, it's Steve, and I'm jumping in this very special episode to let you know something super cool and truly a proud moment for Adam and me. Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance, is proud to partner with Experience Milwaukee to bring you the Summerfest series, supporting homegrown Milwaukee artists. We're featuring a selection of local artists from various genres and asking what Summerfest means to them and this community. Over the past 53 years, Summerfest has evolved into what is now recognized as the world's largest music festival. And as anyone from Milwaukee knows, it's our community's cornerstone summer celebration. In addition to hosting the music industry's biggest acts, Summerfest has a long-standing history of supporting new and emerging talent and local favorites throughout their career. Summerfest is an unforgettable live music experience for attendees, artists, and employees alike. This year, Summerfest takes place September 2nd through 4th, 9th through 11th, and the 16th through the 18th, and will provide something for everyone.
Hey, I'm Brett Newski. I play in a band called Brett Newski on the No Tomorrow, and to me, Milwaukee is it's base camp. I love Milwaukee. I'm pumped to be from here, and it's a great city.
Hey, Adam.
Steven.
Did you ever not meet someone, but you were you felt you were destined to be their friend, and you weren't really sure they were going to be your friend back?
Almost every time we light these mics up.
I know, and this is especially
such a great
true.
Feeling.
It's especially true with our guest on this episode.
Yes.
I'm creating so much hype over here in this house for Brett Newski. My wife is already pissed off. My wife's pissed off. She's like, "Who's this Brett Newski guy?" And I'm like, "Well, you should take a listen because you should know."
Hype is a dangerous thing, Steve.
It sure is.
Very dangerous.
Brett, welcome to the podcast. But guess what?
What's up?
New fave.
Cool, man. I'm honored to hear you say that. I'll take it. Thank you, brother.
I love everything about the music. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun. Adam and I, we were talking before we jumped on, and just, the smiles on our faces from listening to the music. And Adam said, it feels like you're smiling while you're singing. But we'll get into all that stuff.
It's weird you say that because I'm singing about sad, depressing things a lot of the time.
Sometimes.
It's just so damn good.
I guess that's the paradox. It's like you can use more up-tempo and peppier songs and sunny chords over, darker topics. And I love the paradox and kind of the irony of that.
The funny thing is, all right, you guys, Adam doesn't know this, and Brad, surely you don't, but I'm not really a good dancer.
I could have guessed.
You probably could. I found myself kind of dancing to it.
What kind of moves do you break out? Shopping cart?
Just the regular moves.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's rock and roll music. It's not known for its danciness, And we've never been known as a dance rock band. It would be great to have more people moshing and dancing. But as Oasis once said, if you can't make them dance, you gotta make them sing, yeah. So, it's really neat, I think, for any band or writer when you're playing a gig and you see someone, mouthing along to the words. I think that's one of the highest honors.
That's the ultimate, isn't it? It's the ultimate.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, we have. So this is what we do. Adam and I are idiots, so we just pretend like we don't know anything a lot of the times, but that's very true most of the time. But we like to pretend that our audience has no idea who we have on and see what we uncover. So why don't we do that and start with the very high-level backstory, like of where you started and leading up to what you're doing today?
Yeah, I mean, I was born at the same hospital as Bon Iver, which is pretty funny.
Oh,
Eau
wow.
Claire, Wisconsin. I was born in a stocking on December 27th after Christmas.
Oh,
I still got
bummer.
the stocking, and yeah, we still put it up on holidays. It says
Yeah.
1986 on it. So yeah, I was born in Eau Claire, and that's kind of a family base camp. And I lived in Asia for 2 years. I've lived in Milwaukee for the past 8 years. I bought a house with my ex-wife Anna, and we still own it together here in Bayview. We're divorced, but we're still best friends, and we love each other, and that's pretty sweet. And yeah, man, I'm having a great time biking down to the beach a lot of days this summer and just jumping in the ice water. But I was recently informed that South Shore Beach is like 9% like poop and like
It's been that way
91%
for a
water.
while.
It's not good. Hey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to watch out
Note
over
to
there.
self.
Yeah.
Don't go to the beach.
Check
at South
the
Shore.
levels every day before you dip
So-
the toe.
Brett, before we dive too much into music, you said you were born on December 27th. How much did it suck growing up getting combo Christmas birthday presents?
It would be pretty funny because I'd like be eating a bowl of cereal at 2 in the afternoon, and like I would be like, "Oh shit, it's my birthday today," and then my parents would be like, "Oh shit, I guess we forgot it's your birthday." But,
Oh, yeah. Enjoy your special
yeah.
birthday
Say,
cereal?
Here's a
Yeah.
car.
I don't know. It's like I think all of us Americans, we don't need any more stuff, so it's probably good that I
True.
missed out on a few presents. Less stuff equals more freedom. So I actually, at this point, I'm trying to unload more like material items each year, and that's a slow process. So that's kind of the best part about having a tiny house is I just can't fit any more shit in it. So yeah, that's a good thing. I've maintained a lot of mobility and freedom, and still able to tour quite a lot, and it's great to be able to go grab the van and hit the road whenever we need to.
Does touring help with that minimalist lifestyle? Is that kind of where that came from, or is that more of a
Yeah, I mean,
philosophical?
I love minimalism in all avenues, especially music. I think, my musical collaborator Spatola and I, we were a duo the past couple of years. We're a trio now with Steve Varas on the drums. But I've played 1,500 shows as a solo artist, and I still play a lot of solo gigs. So the whole philosophy has always been tied to minimalism. And you know, if I need to go drive out to Idaho to play a festival, by myself, I can do that and string together a few nice dates along the way, and it doesn't have to be this huge expensive operation of a big crew. So I always knew that that it had to be built low to the ground, and like I just want to be like the last person standing when it comes to like a music career. That's kind of
That's
I guess the
awesome.
idea, because it's like we all get our time in the sun. We all get like our little
Sure.
moments of glory and attention, or whatever you want to call it, but it's all fleeting, and it all comes and goes in little waves, and you get a few big victories and a ton of tiny victories and a lot of sweet defeats. So I guess I just want to be durable for the long haul, and not be dependent on having a whole staff, and a crew.
There you go.
Man,
That's
you're playing this smart.
yeah. I think that's
incredible.
why I
I
just
don't
keep
know
it to
that I
Adam
ever
and
would have thought that.
I just keep it to Adam and me.
Yeah, man. I mean,
That's what we need.
it's a long burn, It's
Yeah.
like if you want to do a pod, you know how it is. It's like you gotta just buckle down and be ready to do it for a few years if you want to give it a proper chance. And even
Yeah.
then, you still don't know if it's gonna catch. But
Yeah.
what else can you do but try and stay in the game?
That's true. I was you're gonna see Brett. This is gonna go all over the place tonight. But I was in Bayview today.
Big time. So was I. I'm there right now.
You live there. I went to the
Steve was
Vanguard.
outside your front.
I went to the
front of your house.
Vanguard. I went to the Vanguard.
Oh, that's the brat place down the road.
Yeah.
That's a great spot.
I stopped.
Yeah.
Dynamite.
I was at Barnacle Buds.
Oh, nice.
We actually don't tell anyone we did this, but my buddy Scotty and I, we just sat on a pontoon rental boat, and no one kicked us out. It was amazing. We brought a bunch of. We're trying not to booze during the week, so we brought a bunch of fake beer down there. We call it placebos. We were drinking placebos on this pontoon on the river. It was pretty good deal.
We won't tell anyone. No one listens, so don't worry about that.
We'll just keep it between the three of us.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was. This is gonna. Let's all play together. I was gonna stop at the record store over there. They weren't open. And
Acme. There's Acme.
Rushmore. And then I noticed you've got some work on vinyl.
Yeah, I got 4 records on vinyl, I think. Yeah, there's the Wax. Yeah, we got Wax.
You got some Wax. All right, so what the hell? How did you get into music?
I remember a pivotal day was I was hanging out in my buddy Casey Kaiser's basement playing Mario Kart. I'm sure you played a lot of Mario Kart.
I've heard of it.
We were just crushing Mario Kart. We were like 7 hours deep into James Bond, and then finally we like busted out some music. He was showing me some CDs, and I saw this blue CD. I was like, Weezer, what the hell is this? It looks cool. I'm like, what's Weezer? He's like, oh man, it's the shit. You got to check it out. And we put it in and like put on Say It Ain't So, and it just blew my mind to hell.
Yeah.
And after that was a real pivotal moment for like just getting obsessed with rock records, because I had Ace of Base, I saw the sign, and I had a few records. I had Dookie by Green Day, which was huge.
Yeah.
And but when I found that Weezer album in Casey Kaiser's basement, that was big for me. And I just played that till I wore that CD out. I got it at Best Buy and learned how to play. That got me into the guitar, and I would go over to Casio Music in New Berlin and just sit in the back room and play on their amps. And I would really suck at guitar, but I got better every week. And eventually I got a job at McDonald's and bought my own guitar. So there you go.
I used to sit in Casio and play the bass.
Yeah, see, you did the same thing.
I did, yeah, and then I eventually bought it.
And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure like the people who worked there were like probably annoyed with us for a while, but now I still run into the guy who sold me my first guitar, Chad. He's a staple in the Milwaukee music scene.
That's awesome.
And he's got a few bands in town, but we cross paths at least once a year. And I'm like, what's up, Chad? You sold me my first guitar. He's like, what's up, Newski? So it's a cool thing, man. And it all comes back around, who ever would have thought I would be like a little 14-year-old turd not able to play a G chord in Casio, and now we're like playing Summerfest in the neato time slot. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and we're gonna get into Summerfest, but there's some business we had to take care of here.
Yeah, there's one other background thing I wanted to jump into, because we had our guesses on what kind of maybe inspires or shapes or what you pull from musically, but who are some of the other artists that inspired you to become this amazing singer that we know today?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even consider myself an amazing singer, which I think is why we're an interesting band. If I sounded more polished or shiny, or if I had these golden pipes like Fall Out Boy, I don't know, we would just be a carbon copy of Fall Out Boy. So I love talk singing. I love lyrics. I've always loved like kind of weird, quirky, nuanced lyrics, So lyrically has always been kind of the main focus. I think that set us apart as a band. To maybe have a tiny bit of satire in there. We never want to go too ham-fisted with that, because you don't want to become a full-on joke. But I'm always very proud of the lyrics in the songs, and lyrics aren't for everyone. A lot of people just want to party and do dance rock, and that's all good,
Sure.
But for those like music geeks and audiophiles that really love the words in the songs, I think that's where people kind of find some love for our band. And it's certainly not for everybody. I remember my buddy Mike Maines, real supportive, awesome musician. Like, we did a tour together, and he had a comment I'll always remember, because after a show he's like, Newski, I like your band so much, man. And here's why. It's because it's very polarizing. When someone walks in to see your band, they're either like, whoa, this is really not my thing, or this is my new favorite band. So I think that's just, you just kind of keep trying to get in front of people, and you win a few more people over every night, and what else can you do but keep going? There's not really overnight successes anymore as we once knew it. You don't get signed to Universal and just blow up overnight. It's just it's a new world. Everyone's got a voice, everyone's got 3 albums. My mom put out 8 records last week, so
she's busy.
Yeah, there's too much to sift through. You just have to be good consistently. I mean, what else can you do?
I have to admit,
that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, when I just jumped on Spotify to start and played a song. And I'm like, and then like something just grabbed me about the music, and I'm like, I can't turn this off. And I listened to all the whatever's on the the list when you look up an artist. But then I jumped into some like your current album, and it's just like the guitar kind of pulled me in. Definitely like the names of the songs are like, oh, I gotta listen to that one. Like, what the hell is that about? And when you see Ferris Bueller in one of the songs,
I should have listened to Ferris Bueller.
Yeah. So and I couldn't turn it off, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm getting addicted to this band. And so
cool, I'll take that.
And to me, I think it's a unique sound. I think it's like this familiar bass line, not literally a bass line, but this familiar like feel of music, of good fun music, right, with a unique spin on it.
I guess every band in some sense is like the sum of the bands they love, and then it's their own twist on it all, because it's like I there's nothing more disappointing than just a good sounding band that just sounds like 8 to 25 other bands you've heard before, and it's just I would honestly rather just like miss notes and have my music be more human and more weird and ramshackle and nuanced than to just be like a perfectly sounding hi-fi, highly polished, like commercial radio sound, So, and that's interesting. You say, like, you talk about getting latched on to songs now, and it used to be an era where you only had 500 songs at your fingertips based on your CD collection. Mm-hmm. So you would get hooked on a song on the second listen, which now it's like you have to write to hook people on the first listen. And it's been that way about, the past, probably 10 years. But my buddy Otto the other day made a really good point, how like people are getting really back into slow jams and slower, groovier music. And he believes that directly coincides with like everyone smokes weed now. So, in the 90s, it was like you'd be at a show and the slow jam would come on, and then that would be the time you'd go get a beer or whatever.
Yeah, take a piss.
And now it's like, ooh, the slow jam, give me a couple more of these. Because maybe you've been smoking it down, maybe not. But maybe I just like to believe like patience is coming back into style a little more as a listener, and maybe call me old fashioned, call me a dreamer, but I think that could be something where we're all being a little more patient with our music again. Who knows?
I purposely go downstairs to listen to records to slow things down.
I gotta be honest, I took off my headphones for 5 seconds because I had to take my shirt off because it's so hot in my house. So I missed like 5 seconds in the middle of your second last sentence.
Wow, it's the most important thing about the podcast. So don't worry about it.
This might be a podcast first. Popping the shirt off mid cast.
I'm on it. I don't mean to weird anyone out. I'm just standing here in my underwear. It's so hot in my house. It's not even a joke. So
another
what can you do?
Podcast first. I'm just kidding. Steve and I are probably usually in our underwear.
I think we've reached an all-time low here on the show. Yeah.
Happy to provide that.
So, hey, I have to know, like, and I know this is kind of switching gears. What was Summerfest like for you before ever playing there?
I mean, Summerfest was pretty otherworldly. It was really like setting foot on a new higher octane exciting planet, you know? Cuz like it's like I'd be like 14, 15, getting on the city bus, like to go down into the trenches of the festival. And it was just like a mind blowingly exciting and thrilling thing to go down there in front of that many people and just have your head blown off by 4 or 5 great shows every night. And I think it just bums me out when, like, sometimes you hear people talk smack about Summerfest, and it's like, you don't know what we got here, how great it is, because there's not a lot of cities that have an 11-day festival with shows all day with like huge national headliners. Every year it's like anyone who looks at that lineup is going to see 4 or 5 bands they want to go see for like
Right.
what, $20. So
Yep.
it's the best deal on the planet. It's just one of the great festivals of humankind. So to be now like doing it and like playing in front of the headliners and like playing these like really neat slots in front of 1,000 or a couple thousand people is like pretty, I don't know, it's pretty surreal to me being a little kid fan and like watching all these shows my whole life and now actually getting to do it.
You can think about your like some of your favorite venues to play around the city or around the country. I have to imagine there's nothing like Summerfest.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly haven't seen anything. I've been to Bonnaroo and Lollapalooza, and those festivals are cool in their own right, but it's a different template, different setup. And I think I don't know what it is, but it's a big ode to Milwaukee and the music fans and listeners in Milwaukee that we're not a big city and we've been able to sustain such a behemoth of a festival. We Milwaukee, we love rock and roll, we love guitar music, and we love beer, and all that go fits right in line to sustain this 10-day festival that I have not seen in any other city in America. So it's pretty sweet.
Music and food and drinks. It's a good combination.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
beauty.
As an artist, how has Summerfest helped you, and or how have you seen Summerfest sort of help, up and coming musicians?
Certainly once you're kind of, I think you pay your dues kind of early on as a band and you play some of those earlier time slots and ideally you move up every year or whatever. But it's helped us kind of improve our draw in Milwaukee, and I feel like with Summerfest you definitely see people at those shows that you don't see necessarily in other settings like the clubs and stuff. Like I
Mhm.
see people from like my childhood and people that don't even normally go to shows. Like my neighbor from when I was 8 is like, holy shit, you're playing Summerfest. It's like, and I think the name, it's just such a big deal to people. And as musicians, we play a lot of shows and we play a lot of festivals, and sometimes you can get numb to the fact of what a massive deal
Mhm.
Summerfest is to people. And it's like, they see your name on the bill and they're like, whoa, you've done it, and to us it's obviously a thrill and an honor, but we're just kind of trucking along kind of in our trance, for better or worse. So yeah, it's as Ferris Bueller says, you gotta life moves pretty fast. You gotta stop around and take a look around once in a while, or you miss it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
for sure.
And Adam, for me, being in a band in the past, like Summerfest was always the. If you're right, Brett, other people say it that way, but I also, as a musician, was like, if we could only play there, like then we would have something. And Adam, have you ever had like what's your Summerfest experience?
Spectator only. I've never been backstage. I've never been the artist on stage. Thankfully, to any audience members that would be going by. But my experience was always like that was the big deal. That was like the thing you looked forward to every summer was being able to find the day that perfectly lined up with all the cool music that you liked and you just went that day. And I also often found new bands, oddly enough. I mean, this is all before Spotify and probably close to before YouTube when I was in high school, maybe grade school. This was, this is where I found new bands. I'm pretty sure I found out about Weezer at Summerfest.
Adam, I was asking you that question, or I asked you that question because, again, Brett, we're going to bounce around here because I am trying to figure out where I want to jump in on your Patreon.
Ooh, yeah.
And at some of these
great.
levels, you can be, you can get on the guest list spot on shows.
Does it still say that on there?
Yeah, it does.
Shit, I thought I took that off. It was like becoming so much work to keep up with guest lists. Dang. All right, I'll hook you up, but you're the last guy.
But that's
Listen. But it's like you have these amazing opportunities for fans. Like you get all this stuff forever.
Yeah, so if those of you who don't know what Patreon is, it's like a new arts and culture platform where people can chip in like $5 or $10 a month to the band, and we use that to keep petrol in the tank and sandwiches in the band cooler, and helps us pay the publicist and all these people that cost like $2,000 a month or whatever. So it really helps us out a lot, and it's just a lot of artists now are going to that model because it's all, as Spotify has made everything free and all that, like we've all kind of come around to the subscription model, and I feel like listeners and fans are starting to kind of get in line with that too, which is really cool.
Well, I agree. I love it, and it's to me, it's an easy way to even if you drop $10 a month, with a bunch of other people for your favorite band, your favorite artist, your favorite creator, whatever it is, and you just have this small part in supporting them. It helps, I think, in so many ways, like you said.
Yeah, man. It's it's more than just $5 a month. I mean, it's a huge boost to morale when we see just someone sign up on there. When I get the notification email from Patreon, you have a new patron. Ding! It's like, hell yeah, we're it's another step in the right direction.
Yeah, expanding that reach.
It's one more person that says, "I believe in you,"
and
they want to be part of it.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an honor.
Shit. Okay, where are we? Adam brought this up in our pre-show discussion.
The green room.
Yeah, the green room, the fancy green room, where you promptly took off all of your clothes. What about outside of music? What's going on? Like, you've got a book, you've got a podcast, all this stuff. How's that all?
Outside of... That's a good question. Outside of music, I think it is important to, that we not attach who we are to our careers, because I know I did that for a while. Like my happiness was based on like how well we were doing musically, and that just is not a healthy way to exist. So, I've really kind of been trying to just kind of, get out of my own head and also just, when I'm feeling sad or feeling down, just kind of sitting with those feelings and processing them, which is not something I would have had the skills or the gusto to do, 3 or 4 years ago. So I'd been doing all these drawings, kind of making fun of my own anxieties for years now. Like what to do if someone doesn't respond to your email and you think they hate you, or, how to get out of your own brain when you're trapped in your own brain and all this kind of stuff. So I finally got it together into a book. And that was a big undertaking that I finished during the Pando. And so I've just been kind of promoting that, touring on that a bit, and just trying to find leisure time, because I don't know about you guys, but it's hard to pull people away from their busy lives and just hang out and like block off several hours to just sit in a chair or sit in a lawn chair and eat a Freezy Pop or something. It's like everyone's always on the move and always feels like they have to be achieving something or getting something done. So that was me forever. And, I still love to work. I like the whole hustle and all that, but I'm really trying to be more intentional about leisure, because it's really done me a lot of good. And it's made me a lot more effective in work itself. Just not working has made me better at work, if that makes sense.
Yeah. If people want to slow down, take a break, connect, follow the music, the podcast, get the book, where are the best places?
Well, I guess the website is kind of the mothership. That's where all the things are, and that's just my name.com, brettnewski.com. It's a Polish name, Newski. So yeah, that would be where I would direct people. And again, the Patreon is huge. That's patreon.com/Brett Newski, and then the numerical 1, Brett Newski 1.
And you can get to the Patreon from the website. So we'll put the website in the show notes when we publish this.
That's cool. Yeah, that'll work. Well, that's awesome, fellas. You guys are awesome. I hope we get to hang out in real life. Why don't we? Maybe we could drink a high life at Summerfest after the show.
That sounds, yes, we will be there. Yeah.
Maybe I'll smuggle you a Miller Lite from the backstage band room. That's the least I can do for you.
Perfect.
Hey, I wanted to say one last thing, and it's this: the book, and if somehow listeners of this episode find a way to message Adam or me in any of our Instagram accounts, you be the detective and find us, or just through the Experience Milwaukee, anything, email, any IMs, text, whatever you want to do. We'll pick 5 people and buy them a copy of that book.
Dope. Yeah, that's cool. That's real sweet of you.
We'll have some fun with that.
Cool.
Adam, you're
going to be
included.
A DM from me.
Yeah.
After the show.
I knew you were going to do that, so I said you're not
I want
included.
in on this too. Well, yeah, man. The especially with somebody for somebody like me who kind of has that anxiety lingering at all times.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a person. Just the title alone resonated with me. I was like, yeah, it is.
Oh man, yeah. I feel you on the anxiety front. It's I don't know anyone who doesn't experience anxiety. Even if someone tells me they don't have anxiety, they're probably an anxiety denier, because it's just part of being a person. It's all good.
All right, boys.
You are sweet dudes.
Thank you, and we will see you at Summerfest.
All right, Steve and Adam. Much love. Keep in touch.